I started having these profound spiritual experiences of going to source energy, of I would come into these spaces where I'd be one with the whole galaxy. I'd be moving with the stars. And the feeling of
Wow.
expansion I felt was so incredible. And I would come out of my session and still be carrying that. I felt like I had the whole universe in my chest, just like open
Just
and just
soaking it in.
ecstasy. Yeah, just feelings of ecstasy from my Reiki treatments. And after that, he wanted me to meet my his Reiki instructor. And you know this story
Hmm.
of Kristen, and this was a life-changing moment for me. But I ended up meeting her. Well, a few months prior to that, I had a dream about a girl who died in a car accident, and I was in her house with her family. And I saw her family members. I saw their relationships and engagement. I saw the home that she lived in. And I was standing next to her in spirit. And I said, "Oh, hi." She goes, "Oh, you see me?" And all this in my dream, she just like did this big old football tackle. And when she did the football tackle, it was like I merged with her information. I knew her name, her age, how she passed, the relationships, her regrets, everything.
Wow.
I woke up the next morning and it felt like I had her sweater. I could just feel this energy coming around my shoulders all day. And of course, I call my mother. I'm very blessed to be able to call my mom and talk to her about this stuff. And I was like, I don't know who this is or why I had this dream, but I feel like it's more than a dream, because I can feel her energy still with me. And I don't know who to tell. And I don't know why she came to me. She's like, "Well, I guess don't worry about it. You'll know when you know, you know." And so, anyway, a couple months later, I end up meeting this Reiki instructor. And I walked into her office. And then, right after the introductions, all of a sudden, whoosh, I could just feel that same Kristen energy coming in from 2 months prior. And for me, it was like a fingerprint.
Wow.
Like I knew exactly who she was. And I remember the dream to a T, because that's the difference between dreams and visitations and journeys as well.
Yeah.
Because when you have journeys or you have a past life regression or you have a visitation, um, you remember things for years, like to the detail. It's almost like that experience changes you on such a deep level, makes
Hmm.
such an impact on your experience. Even if it's just years and years later, you remember like
All of it.
every detail,
Yes.
all of it. It's not like a dream you forget by noon. No, you remember every bit of it, right? So I went ahead and I had to get brave, because anytime I would share something with someone, I don't know how they're going to react. I don't know how open she is to what I'm about to tell her. It's a leap of faith anytime you do healing work. It really is.
Absolutely.
And but Kristen wouldn't leave me alone, and I knew what that meant. Like, you got to get this off your chest, or I'm following you home. Kind of a feeling.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow you and haunt you at your house.
Say
You
or
need to tell her.
beware.
So anyway, I went ahead and told her, and she just turned white, mouth just jaw dropped, and she opened up her drawer and she pulled out a picture of Kristen, and she goes, "Is this her?" And I said, "Yeah, that's her." And she's like, "Yeah, she died 2 months ago." And that was when I had the dream, was when she had passed
Wow.
away. And so I thought by delivering and say, "Well, she just wants you to know that she's okay. And if you could pass that message on, that would be great." I thought if I said that then Kristen would let up on me, and she wouldn't. And so she's like, "Call my mom, call my mom, call my mom," just in my ear, just over and over, "Call my mom, call my mom." So I'm like, ugh. So I was like, "Okay, Patty, is it okay if we call her mom?" As I'm not a professional medium, so I'm gonna do the best I can. But I'm just gonna deliver this message. And so anyway, we called her, and she had just left the cemetery. And
Wow.
I talked to her on the phone, and it was interesting because I usually listen on the phone with my right side, but Spirit talks to me in my right ear.
Me too.
So I had the phone on the left. So I'm like going between, the conversation, the two people, and ended up meeting her later. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful meeting. And I ended up actually teaching her Reiki, ironically. Um, because after that situation, I ended up delivering message to Patty throughout the week of different people she had known. And in appreciation for delivering the messages, she asked me if I would be open to learning Reiki and becoming a Reiki master teacher, that she would teach me all the way through teacher level. And so I decided to go and take her up on it. And from that point forward, I was doing Reiki and readings out of my house. Wow. And that was kind of like the beginning of me actually providing a service using my gifts of spirit. I would do a Reiki session and I would do a reading. And I met through one of the ladies at that time, my friends, this woman who was the head of a mystery school in Salt Lake City. She's like, you got to meet this lady. She will help you with your gifts of spirit. Oh, it was Patty, actually, the one that was the Reiki teacher's one that told me back about her. And so I went ahead and did it. And that changed things even more.
Wow. I want to hurry and take a moment as you're speaking about her, the connection. Kristen? Yeah, like the connection's been like, it's a little bit like fuzzy and like slowed down. And I feel like that high frequency has been like moving into this space of like, we got to clear it out for just a minute so that the connection is still flowing, because it's been a little more choppy. And like, we want to thank her for being here and for her message and for opening up your gifts, because she like gave you so much courage and strength to move forward. But we also want to ask her to help change the frequency so that we can continue talking about this. I feel her energy just so strong and so bubbly and vibrant that it's like, we thank you for being here. Now, please just like part ways so that we can continue moving forward, having that frequency.
It's funny. She's like, okay.
Yeah. And it sounds so much better already. Like I can hear you. Yeah. It was getting choppy there for a minute. And so I'm like, okay, we got to clear this frequency. Mm-hmm. It's so high. She's so awesome.
Yeah. And I really think it'd be totally fine. Like, don't edit that out, because this out what I'm saying right now, but don't edit that part out. Like, say, I feel like we need to clear it because it's getting choppy and the frequency is changing.
Yeah.
Give people that experience.
Okay. That's perfect.
Okay.
I love it. Cause now it sounds like totally different. Okay. But there for a minute, you could feel it. I'm like, oh, so much here.
You feel it fluttery. She's strong presence.
Yeah. She's very strong and a little, not forceful, but like very brave.
Aggressive.
Beat the drum.
Yes, assertive.
Yes.